The morning started out quiet on the lake, the kind of peaceful calm that made my cabin feel like the last untouched spot on Earth. Mist floated over the water, the smell of pine mixed with fresh coffee, and I was sitting at the kitchen table with none other than the state attorney general, discussing land use violations in our county. He'd asked to meet privately after I'd sent him a detailed report on the HOA's harassment campaign against several property owners. What I didn't know was that our meeting would be interrupted by the HOA's queen herself, Karen, a woman who mistook her self-given title for divine authority. The knock wasn't even polite. It was a bang, followed by a voice that could curdle milk. "Open up. HOA inspection." I blinked at the Attorney General, who looked mildly amused. "You didn't tell anyone you were coming here, right?" I asked. He shook his head. I sighed and stood, setting my mug down. When I opened the door, Karen stormed in like she owned the place. Clipboard in hand, sunglasses perched like a crown, her phone already recording. "I've had complaints about unauthorized construction and unregistered guests," she snapped, brushing past me. "This property is within HOA oversight." "Ma'am," I said, "this cabin is on private land, outside your HOA boundary. Don't talk back to me," she hissed, glancing at the Attorney General. "And you, who are you?" "We require visitor registration." The Attorney General rose slowly, his expression calm but sharp. "Ma'am, I'm the State Attorney General, and you're trespassing." Karen froze. The phone in her hand stopped recording midair. "You're what?" He held up his badge. "I'm here to discuss several legal complaints against your HOA, including unlawful harassment, extortion through fines, and misuse of community funds. Congratulations, you've just added criminal trespassing to the list." For the first time since I'd met her, Karen didn't have words. Her mouth opened, then closed like a fish gasping on a dock. This is a misunderstanding," she stammered. "I thought, this property was part of our managed area." "It's not," I said firmly. "And even if it were, you don't barge into someone's home without permission. That's breaking and entering." The Attorney General gestured toward his assistant, who had been quietly recording everything from the corner. "Ms. Karen, for your information, we now have video evidence of your unauthorized entry, verbal admission of false jurisdiction, and attempted intimidation. You'll be hearing from my office very soon." Karen's face went white. "This is ridiculous. You can't threaten me. I'm on camera," I interrupted, breaking the law in front of the state's top prosecutor. There was a long, beautiful silence after that. She looked around the cabin, realizing that the very space she'd tried to control was now her undoing. When she turned toward the door, her voice had shrunk to a whisper. I'll call my lawyer." "Do that," the Attorney General said evenly. "You'll need one." She left in a flurry of embarrassment and gravel spray, her SUV fishtailing as she tore down the dirt road. I closed the door behind her, and for a second, the only sound was the soft hum of the refrigerator. Then the Attorney General chuckled, shaking his head. "That," he said, "was one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen." Over the next few months, the investigation unfolded like a slow-motion train wreck for the HOA. Karen had been approving illegal assessments, fining homeowners outside her jurisdiction, and using community funds to pay for private security inspections. My footage of her unauthorized entry became the tipping point. When the final hearing arrived, she showed up wearing the same oversized sunglasses, but there was no confidence left, just fear. The Attorney General's office filed multiple charges: trespassing, coercion, misuse of funds, and falsification of HOA records. The board collapsed within a week, and Karen was permanently banned from holding any leadership position in a registered association. Now, every time I sit on that same porch, watching the lake reflect the morning light, I think about how easily power warps people who believe rules don't apply to them. Karen had tried to intimidate a homeowner, and instead walked straight into a meeting with the highest law enforcement officer in the state. I guess life has a sense of irony. Some people think they can walk over anyone until they trip over the wrong doorstep. And as for me, I never needed to lift a finger that day. The law was already sitting at my table, drinking my coffee, and watching justice unfold in real time.